cliff by a deer. Gus. The most hated of the Finch family. Gus went to his father's wedding and was upset that he was going to have a stepmother. Suddenly, it began to storm. However, this did not faze Gus as he did not stop playing with his kite while everyone rushed inside. Gus was then crushed by an unoccupied tent. Gus was born in 1969 and died in 1982. I'm gonna rate this a 1 for sadness. I definitely don't think Gus deserved to die. Children will be brats, and he just wasn't happy about a stepmother. Instead, the 10-year-old injured him just enough to teach him a lesson. I rate this a 2 for creativity. Because while it's quite obvious what happened to Gus, there's definitely some creativity. The kite, why Gus died the way he did. Odin just kind of had a slide fall on him, and that was the end of him. No visuals, nothing. I give it a 4 for truthfulness, because everything did happen as told, except I don't think the kite would stay in such smooth motion during a storm, and it wouldn't have a trail of objects picked up by the storm. Gregory. One fateful night, when Kay was giving Gregory a bath, Kay received a call from her husband, Sam. Kay had to leave Gregory alone for a few minutes. To her horror, her 1-year-old baby had drowned, thinking he was a fish. Gregory was born in 1976 and died in 1977. I give this a 5 on the sadness scale and a bonus point for making me cry. I give this a 5 for creativity because of how imaginative and innocent the poor, sweet baby was thinking he was a fish. I give this a 3 for truthfulness because unlike a fish, Gregory drowned. He did become submerged in water with his toys however. Milton. Milton, like Walter, Milton is a very mysterious character. Well, this might be a little spoiler. But, if you have played The Unfinished Swan, you might know that Milton is actually alive. It's confirmed too, the developers said Milton was alive. I do have one question for Milton, though. Did Milton know about the curse? He must have, if he was trying to escape from something. Unless he got lost in his mind, and it had nothing to do with the curse. But at the same time, if Milton knew about the curse, wouldn't he have died? He was extremely vulnerable out by himself. The only reason Walter survived was because he hid away in the bunker. Milton was born in 1992 and disappeared in 2003. Since Milton did not die, I will rank him on the disappearance scale. I give this a 4 for sadness. For 1, Milton had intentions on disappearing. He knew what he was doing. It wasn't a freak accident that separated him. Don't get me wrong, it is sad that Milton disappeared, that's why I ranked him as a 4. And secondly, Milton is found to be alive. Wherever that may be, Milton is alive. At least during the time of The Unfinished Swan. I give this a 5, and a bonus point for creativity. The whole scene was executed so well. Many people think Milton is super cool because of his art and his castle house. I give this a 5 for mystery. Nobody knows where Milton is or why he disappeared. The flipbook doesn't really add anything. Walking out a door could lead to millions of places. Lewis. The imaginative, drug-addicted, fish worker, Lewis. Lewis saw himself as a king who conquered lands and was loved by many, but it all came crashing down when he saw his real self, and it hit him with who he actually was. I presume his death was caused by an overdose of drugs or suicide. Lewis was born in 1988 and died in 2010. I give it a 5 on the sadness scale, as Lewis always felt so neglected by everyone. He was getting help more than some, but it wasn't anything to drive him away from drugs and a depressing lifestyle. I give it 5 and a bonus point. For creativity, the scene feels like a little game in on itself. It probably took the most effort to make. I give it a 5 for truthfulness, because it told the whole scene from Lewis's perspective, even though the psychiatrist was narrating it. Edie. Currently, the oldest and the most prominent of the Finches. She created the shrines for her family. She mysteriously died the night Edith and Dawn left the house. Edie was born in 1917 and died in 2010. I give it a 1 for sadness, as she lived a long and good life. It's almost like she was the one carrying the curse, and everything after her death was just unlucky. I give it a 1 for creativity, because the death was mysterious, and, as of yet, nothing ever came out about Edith's death. One cool thing they could've done to end the story was made the house collapse that night, just moments after Edith and Dawn left. Probably won't destroyed the story though. Maybe when the family tree ends, the house will collapse. I can't really define a truthfulness number when I have no information to go off of. Dawn. Dawn, the mother of Edith and a very prominent character, died of a terminal illness. This was the death that made some realize maybe this wasn't a curse following the family, and maybe instead a series of poor choices and natural causes. Dawn was born in 1968 and died in 2016. I give this a 5 on the sadness scale, because those who have alive parents don't want know what it's like to lose one like that, and those with parents who passed away can sympathize. I give it a 1 for creativity, as it wasn't very creative, it was just downright sad. I give it a 5 for truthfulness, because this did actually happen. Edith. Edith, the last to die in the first What Remains of Edith Finch. I say first, because there is likely to be a second, if the developers are willing to work, or are currently working on another game. Because it could definitely be continued, and I would like to see that. Even if we have to wait 5 generations worth of time to make it realistic and better shape the game. Or even better, a prequel to see what lied before Odin and visit the old house, as well as see generations back of characters. But anyway, Edith died giving birth. So who took care of her son, Christopher, if everybody is dead? I guess the father. But, who was that? He was never explained. And I'm assuming it is genetically Edith's kid. Edith was born in 1999 and died in 2017. I give this a 5 on the sadness scale, because now Christopher has almost no one to look up to. All of his relatives are dead, except for the father. Thank you for watching, hope you learned something new today. Like and subscribe if you want. I wish What Remains of Edith Finch is a game I could do many videos on, because the story this game, if you could call it that, tells is just incredible. However, this is probably one of the only videos I'll do on this game, until the next game is released, if it ever will be. This is Alt Rock Enthusiast 826.